Listening to podcasts is a great way to spend time alone but feel less alone. I'm Monica Fox.
And I'm Sarah Jane Castro, and we're your hosts for this promo of The Journey Continues. So, Monica, we just wrapped up season 3. We're about to start season 4. What were some standouts from this season for you?
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, it's totally amazing that we've done 3 seasons of this podcast already. And we started out because of the pandemic, looking for ways to raise awareness about organ donation and kidney disease, kidney health, and transplantation. So it's just amazing that we are in season 3 already.
Yeah.
And this season has been really fun. And some of the things that stand out to me are that, number one, we have so many warriors that we've talked to, people who are battling kidney disease with such strength and such perseverance. We had 2 authors, Amy Peel and Jennifer Kramer Miller. We shared their stories. We shared the story about the VA Hines Hospital and them meeting their, they did over 100 transplants in a really short period of time, being a new program. So that was totally amazing.
And shows such a need for more veterans care and how many veterans there are out there who need transplants.
Absolutely. And I was so moved by how Dr. Samra was just so excited about how she would return those veterans to their families and they could do things like travel to visit their grandchildren and things like that. So
that was a special one to listen to.
Stories like that are just so heartwarming. How about you? What were some of your favorites?
Well, the first one that comes to mind is Terry Litchfield. Her husband was on dialysis for 47 years, which was amazing, and she was just so funny. I wasn't expecting that talking to her. I was expecting to hear, this story of like, here's how we made it through together, leaning on each other, and that was the crux of the story. But she had so many funny jokes in there, and I expected to be crying a lot more, and I was laughing the whole time. So that one was great. And then I also spoke to Casey Berg, who randomly texted a wrong number and ended up through that text meeting her future husband and kidney donor.
I loved that story.
That was amazing.
I'm thinking about intentionally sending some wrong text messages.
Me too. Yeah. You gotta have, some options out there. Just start sending some text. You never know what you might find.
That was the best.
Yeah. What did you learn this season that you maybe didn't know before? Because we covered so many topics.
We sure did. We covered things like value-based care. I learned a lot about that.
Yeah.
I learned about some genetic illnesses, APOL1, the gene that impacts African Americans, and kidney disease. What things did you learn?
Yeah, the APOL1 episode, I didn't know much about that gene at all. I knew that was like, that African sleeping sickness was involved, but that was about the extent of my knowledge. So I learned so much with that. I learned a lot about what Cook County is doing to help their patients with access to healthy foods, with their food trucks. That was incredible to me because we talk so much, every episode ends with a clip from Dr. Melissa Prest about eating healthy and watching your sodium and sugar and all of those things, but if people don't have access to those things, how are they supposed to take that advice? So that was really fascinating to me too, to learn about that.
Yeah, it's great to know all of the resources that are out here, and we are just so fortunate to be able to share this information by way of this podcast. And I just really hope people listen, because it takes 20, maybe 25 minutes to listen to an episode, and you just never know how much you're going to learn in one episode. And you may laugh, you may cry, who knows, but you definitely will be entertained, educated, and informed.
Absolutely. And if you have never listened before, now is the perfect time to go back, and we've got 3 whole seasons of episodes. You can start from episode 1, work your way back, or just pick and choose through There are descriptions with each episode. You can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube even.
Yep, iHeartRadio.
Anywhere you get podcasts, we're there.
We
Just
are
search
there. Yep.
For The Journey Continues, and you'll see our blue logo with the kidney, and that's where we are. You can find us there.
Yeah. So I hope that people really will find us and listen. We have some very loyal listeners.
We do.
I do hear from lots of people. We hear from people who thank us for the episodes and who say keep them coming.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to keep them coming.
We are.
But we definitely want to raise awareness about this podcast and have many more people listen and learn. And we'll keep bringing great episodes.
Yeah, we sure will.
Yeah.
And if you are a loyal listener, we'd love for you to rate and review the podcast. That really does help us find new listeners who maybe have never heard of NKFI before, but they might be interested in these topics. So that's super helpful. And tell a friend. We'd love for our audience to continue growing so we can continue to bring you these fascinating stories about kidney health, organ donation, and all of the things that are involved in keeping your kidneys up and running.
Yep. And if you're listening and you think you have an interesting story, let us know.
Yeah.
And we can certainly consider interviewing you and having you on The Journey Continues.
Absolutely. This has been such a fun, I'm so glad you had this idea to create a podcast. This has been such a fun project, and we get to talk to so many fascinating people.
So many people.
And learn so many great things. So we hope that all of you will listen and join us on the journey.
Yeah.
And hope that you find some inspiration and entertainment and learn something new by listening.
Yep. I agree.
So we'll see you in season 4.
See ya.